The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Well, we have a situation currently going on in the gold market. I posted it as the first chart since this is what's happening. We have completed a big ABCD pattern, down $64 from the high, 2 times 34, which is the harmonic number in gold. The 786 is 1245. The low today is 1244.70. You could put a stop at 1244.50 and forget about it, because if you're wrong, you're going to be really wrong. But you only be wrong for a couple dollars here. It's much better to buy it at 1245 than it is to buy it at 1285. That's the way I look at it. We have some pretty strong astro stuff coming in today also. As we know, we have the Mercury is going to go. I'm going to save that for Norm Winsky. He'll be on at our break here, and we always enjoy having Norm on from Astro Trends, so that'll be something to look at. But keep an eye on the gold. If you like ABCD patterns, this is what you want to be watching. If you'll notice on that chart that we posted, there were 3 ABCD patterns measuring to 1303 to 1307 in the gold, several weeks ago when we were making the high. And at that time, we were talking about the fact that the open interest had not done very much at that time. So we had to be really careful. But at this level, it has to hold this 1245 level. I would say a couple dollar stop would be about as most that you would have to risk at this particular point. So we'll just watch it as near as we can tell. Now, the U.S. dollar has been rallying really strongly. We have a ABCD pattern now here in this euro at 111.90. That's our low's been 111.80. So we're really close to possibly something in the euro. So there could be a movement here in some of these things. Remember, we're over some really key astro stuff here, folks. There's no question about it. The Dow was down about 80 points pre-market, and then when Walmart came out with their earnings, the Dow jumped quickly back to break even, mainly because of the Walmart being a Dow stock. And it's pretty heavily capitalized stock, but they are price weighted in the Dow Jones. They're not cap weighted, so it doesn't have the same value, but it can move the market a lot, as you can see. It brought the market all the way back from minus to plus. So that's what we're seeing early morning pre-market. The rest of the markets, we've got silver broke below the key level at 1660. We got down to 1640. That's a very interesting pattern also, because that goes back to touch the old high that we had from several weeks ago. That is a really important spot to look at. But there's a great deal of interest in this silver down here around the 1640 to 1620 level on a technical basis, and the same thing that I can see in gold around the 1245. But believe me, if 1245 doesn't hold, folks, this might have just been one giant bear market rally, and that's certainly what could have happened. But we have to wait and see if that's going to be the case. The one thing that startles me is the fact that, we got that crude oil up to, the 61% retracement of that previous swing was at 49, and we got to 48.95 yesterday, and not one person, on CNBC or Bloomberg even mentioned the fact that it was a, 61% retracement. And I'm sure, that these folks look at these things, but not all of them, really do. If you remember, just earlier in the week, just on Monday, we were talking about the fact that we had a situation in natural gas that hold on, let me get this natural gas contract up here. You'll notice that this natural gas contract had hit the 61% retracement 7 times over the past several weeks. And this was the time when I believe it was one of the big hedge fund guys, I believe it was either David Ackerman or somebody, was basically looking at the spot where we were watching the market get to a point where it was going to be a big bull market, and yet, they were buying it up in there, and it's backed off 20 cents per cubic foot right now, and we're almost down to a 786 and 382 retracement down at this 196 level. That's where I would be looking to be a buyer of it. We also had a 20-man line up there at that 220 level also. That was very, very interesting. So keep an eye on natural gas. It has a chance here of holding this 196 level. But again, anything below 194, you would certainly be wrong in the natural gas. That's pretty much, what we're watching of, what's going to see if it's going to happen. Yes, Paul, I see that the gold did hit the 445, 1245 level, but I'm not sure that's going to, be the bottom, but it's going to be, that's what we're going to be happening. Okay. Anyway, that's it. Just give me 1 second. I got to change an order here. Let me see. 1242. 50. Okay, I ain't risking much in this thing. All right, I just want to put an order in here. I actually do a little trading once in a while, so I have to pay attention to what I'm doing, especially when it's during, the market, when the market's getting ready, to move pretty much. So, anyway, we'll have Norm on to give us some of his ideas. He's been spot on so much that we just should wait and let him tell us, what's really going to be happening, and we'll wait from that level. But we are at some key levels here in some of these areas. And also we have another key level that is really important from, because this is a huge market, and that's this Treasury bonds. Excuse me for jumping around because I've only got a few minutes to cover this stuff, and then we've got to have Norm on. But if you'll notice yesterday in the Treasury bonds, we got all the way down to the 61% retracement at that 163.04 level. That's it's so far, I think it's trading 163.20 or something right now, but that's a very, very important spot because of it being that retracement, coming down from the April 26th low. So anything below that, you're looking at some higher interest rates, which I think we're going to get. It's just a question of when. I mean, they make so much news out of this Federal Reserve stuff, and that's what they have to do because that's how they get the readership, on CNBC and Bloomberg. They have to have people on, including people like myself occasionally, and anybody else, because they have to give our opinions and the people decide what to look at. Folks, that's why I stopped being a fundamentalist, because I did fundamental stuff way back in the 60s and 70s, but I flat became a technical trader in 1975 after I lost everything. And then I found the Gartley book, and that's the one that basically, changed my life for quite a bit. So we're going to take a little break here. 877-927-6648.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry, powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
We're going to take a look at the Dow Jones and the S&P here before we have Norm on in just a few minutes. You can see the Dow Jones, we're looking at, looks like 17,300. In the Dow Jones E-mini here, sometime either today or tomorrow. You'll notice we have lower highs through here. We have several ABCD patterns that are forming that are heading down this way. So that's what would be my opinion of where we're going to be going here. And remember, we have a full moon and Mercury coming in here pretty soon. So that's going to be interesting. If we take a look at the E-mini S&P, that's going to bring us down to about the 20 level. But, you know, on the long-term daily, of course, we've got a pattern down there that could make 1990. That's a 382 retracement. And we should have a pretty good bounce from this level because, you know, we're down well over 2 weeks now coming into this, so we should have a pretty good idea. Now, if you want to talk about being depressed, I have to tell you about being depressed. As you know, I have a 5-year-old grandson today, and I'm speaking in front of his classmates, all 22 of them, and so his dad felt that maybe I should run the magic trick, you know, past him just to see how, you know, see how he would react. Well, the book, it's a book that I bought in Thailand, and it's a book that has pages, and if you touch the book the right way, the pages disappear. And so what I did was I changed the format of the book to put the patterns of the Gartleys and butterflies in there, and I had them all colored, of course. And so I had that done, and I showed it to him, and he said, "Oh, very good," and he was clapping his hands. He said, "Very good, very good." And then he says, "But you know, I know how that works." And I says, "How do you know how it works?" Now, folks, I've been using this book for 30 years, and no one has ever figured out how the book works. And he's 5 years old. And he said, "You touch the book on a different place, the pages will change." And that's exactly what happens. If you touch the book at the top of the page, the pictures will disappear. But if you touch the book at the bottom of the page, they show up. So I said, do you think I'll be okay? And he says, yes. He says, but you might have some problems with Rodney. And I said, who's Rodney? He says, he's in my class, and he can be very disruptive. This is what you have to worry about. Oh my God, I can't believe I've come to this stage in my life and I'm being outfoxed by a 5-year-old. Well, that shouldn't surprise me. My kids outfoxed me all those years, so I guess it won't make any difference. But I'll report to you Monday how it went, and we'll see what happens. Today is a travel date for me, so I won't be around tomorrow. I'm heading off to Europe, and I'll be gone for several weeks, but I'll be working each day here at TFNN, and but from a different city, so we'll have some fun. This will be one of my last trips for a while because it's a long one, and we're just going to have some fun this time, meeting a lot of old friends, which is really fun for me. And matter of fact, I get to meet one of my very best students, the man that's come closer to the Holy Grail than anything I've ever seen, and I'll be spending 3 days with him in London. So that'll be a lot of fun. Okay, let's move on. We've talked about the S&P. We've talked about the E-mini. We talked about the gold. We talked about the crude oil. The other one that we want to mention here is we need to talk about, when we talked about the Treasury bonds, we need to talk about the U.S. dollar and the Japanese yen. First of all, I want to put up the U.S. dollar chart that we were talking about several weeks ago when we were making the, oh dear, something happened. That's not good. Just a second. There we go. Hold on. There we go. I hit the wrong button. Okay. This is the dollar index. As you can see here, we had this ABCD structure completing. Now we've had a really good rally in the dollar index, and it's continuing to rally. But one of the key things in that dollar index, of course, is the Japanese yen. And as you recall, we had a beautiful pattern in the Japanese yen that lined up very, very beautifully, and that was the long-term weekly chart in the Japanese yen. You'll see we had the 20-minute line coming down to that 106 and change level. We got to 105.90. Now we're trading 5 handles higher. That was also a perfect 61% retracement off the past 382 retracement that we had way back in 2013. That's the importance of that. That has multiple importance, folks, because if we go back below those lines now, the Japanese yen is in big trouble. So we'll see what happens with it. But anyway, this is what we're looking at in the yen. It's basically been one of the turning features in the market. And we'll watch that closely because it did hit that number, pretty much spot on. And then we'll see, what happens, with that from this level right here. Now we have another currency that we talked about yesterday that is in play, and we'll see if this is going to be happening. But if you like patterns, and we certainly do, we're looking at the Australian dollar here versus the U.S. dollar. We have a 61% retracement on the daily chart going back to January. We also have a 3-drive pattern over the past 10 trading days coming in here at this 161.90 level. And that's what we're looking at. We've had a couple of wide bars down, so that your risk here would be 40 pips. You can't risk any more than that because, if these markets go to another level, then you certainly can't you certainly can't stand in front of it. That's that's the main thing. But if you'll see the 3-drive at the top that we made up there back in April, you'll notice the two ABCD patterns incomplete with the 3-drive to a top pattern at the 78.40 level, and then we dropped 6.5 handles down to where we are now. And we have a really nice pattern here to potentially go long the Australian dollar. And at the same time, we have some really serious support in real serious support in the let's get this straight. Real serious support in the euro here at 111.80, because that's the ABCD pattern coming down off that last high that we made yesterday. So that should be another one that will have some interest for us. Now, one of the comments that I've heard in the move here is about it's hard to get the Aussie moving with gold being down. I don't know if that's the case or not. I look at each one of these separately. That's really what I'm shooting for, is to try to look at them separately. Whether that's going to happen or not, we'll have to remain to see if that's going to be the case. That's really what we're watching is nothing more than probabilities and patterns, and that's really all I'm looking at. In fact, that's a real advantage, folks, because the news can be so darn tricky and understanding it. You hear what the Federal Reserve is saying or doing, and I listened to The Economist yesterday on CNBC. There are two PhD economists, and they disagree with what the Fed person said. I mean, how do you make any sense of that? So you just have to look at the charts. If prices are going up, there's more buyers. If prices are going down, there's more sellers. And that's the bottom line. So far, we're rallying about 3/4 of a point off the bottom in the Treasury bonds, off that 61% retracement, and the rest of it is not doing very much at all. Crude oil is backed off about $1.50, a little more than that from the Fibonacci level at the 49 level, but still very early. 877-927-6648. Stay tuned for Norm Winsky.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Technomental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, without further ado, a little drum roll is due. Norm, are you there?
Yes, sir.
You're rocking and rolling.
Is there a way to turn up the volume? You're kind of faint.
I'm kind of faint. Well, let me see. Nope, that's it. That's the best I can do, partner.
I got my volume all the way up.
Yeah, I got it up. Let me see if this will help. Does this help at all? Is this any better?
No change yet. Well, we'll get by. Just speak loudly.
I'm going to let you talk. You got the mic. Fire away, buddy. I got your first chart up. Your review.
You just got better. Thank you. So we're on page.
As soon as I shut up, I get better. You're going. You're on. Fire away.
Okay, we're on page 1, Larry. Just so you know.
Yep.
And I got my notes on the screen share on the Skype here. And so anyway, I'm going to review what I was on the 5th of May. And we had the big window coming up for the over the weekend there with the Friday afternoon and into early Monday morning. We had the new moon at perigee, that's syzygy time. And then we also had Jupiter turning direct. That was my big window coming up there. And let's go. I had 2 markets I was focused on. We had soybeans. And there's your, here I'm showing the chart now and showing what happened there on the 6th. That was a nice little pullback low before you had a kind of a rocket shot there with the beans,
Sure was. You called it.
Oh, I can hear you much better now, Larry. Thank you.
Good.
All right, now moving on ahead, just a quick review here, and keep in mind that, this also had, we'll see here. And now we're going to talk about the stock market, where we talked about that same window for the stock market too. And here's the I'm already on page 3 now.
Okay, let me get it ready. I've got it right here. Hold on. You're going faster than a rabbit in Terre Haute. Hold on just a second.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Is that on 3rd Street there on 41, Larry?
I lived on 4th Street. The restaurant was on 3rd. You're right.
Were you on South 4th?
South 4th, 4th and Willow. Yep.
Oh my God, that's my mom grew up on South 4th. There you go.
Yep.
All right, so there you go, page 3. And so here's the chart, and got the red arrow there where the 6th was, and that was up until a few days back. That was the low of the month. So and I had a nice little pop there. Normally, just something like outer planet station point. That's due to the relative motion of the Earth and the other planets. How the planets appear, they individually appear at times that they have stopped their motion, reversed their direction. Jupiter was doing that early Monday morning before the opening, and so that's usually a very powerful point, which usually is often the low of the month or the high of the month. This was the low of the month, but it didn't I think there might have. I'm doing some research now why that may have something might have interfered with that to cause it to lose some of its power, and therefore it did not hold later. And now we've all the indices now have broken that level, and now we're on new lows for the month. But we got we got something interesting coming up here this weekend, which we're going to talk about now. And so now I'm going to jump back here to the previous page because we have some future things. I basically laid out the whole month for the folks last time I was on, so it's the same notes,
Mm-hmm.
So coming up here now this weekend, here it is on the notes toward the middle of the paragraph there at the top for the stock market. We, as you mentioned, this weekend, you keep your powder dry until the weekend. We have a full moon and Mercury turning direct. Okay, so this is a kind of an unusual combination. We had that combination a year ago. Well, the opposite combination. We had Mercury turning retrograde and a new moon, and we went back and researched that, and when I went back 10 years and I landed on October 11th 2007, I about fell off my chair because I knew that was the top in 07 before we went off the cliff into the big dive there into early 09,
And Norm, do you remember a year ago today, May 19th, you were on the air, and we had the new moon and Mercury retrograde. You were just talking about it, and then you supplied us with the chart. I think we were within 15 minutes of the exact high in the market when the event took place. Do you remember that? I saved that.
I can't remember what the exact time for the Dow was. I know the S&P topped leader that night at 3 in the morning. So I know the
I,
Dow.
I was watching the Dow, so and that S&P overnight, gets a little squirrely. But I mean, even if it was in 1 or 2 days, I think that was phenomenal because you were spot on with it, and you actually gave the parameters for it to happen. So I think that's a really good idea. I have a question that some of our folks ask me, and that is, why is it that there's not been anyone able to come up with a holy grail looking at all these astrology? Because that's the closest thing of things I've ever seen have been astrological. I mean, they don't work all the time, but they certainly work better than anything else I found. But why is it, do you think?
Well, I don't think there is
no
any
one's ever
holy
really
grail.
found something that works 100%.
I don't think there is any holy grail in the markets. I don't think you're going to get the 100%. But if we can bat, in the 70s, it's or approach 80. That's pretty good.
70s is fantastic. Yes, I agree with you there 100%.
Yeah. So maybe some folks have unrealistic expectations. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you remember when we found the Holy Grail in the egg of Columbus?
Oh, that's a whole story there.
Book, yeah, there was a book out, folks, called The Egg of Columbus by George Baer, a very rare book, and it was offered for sale for $25,000 back in the 80s.
Yep,
and,
I remember that.
And you finally found a copy of it about a year and a half later after many people had found it and put it on, had printed it out and were selling it for $300 and $400 a copy. It was a 17-page book that George Baer wrote in, and he wrote it in a, in a sort of a code. He dated it with animals and fishes and stuff like that. But I certainly remember that quite a bit. Let's talk a little bit. We've got about a minute before the next break. But when we get back to the break, I want to continue on. But I want you to tell the folks the meaning of with Mercury going back to direct motion.
Yes, sir.
And what that means from an astrological for signing contracts and just for information coming stuff.
Wait till the weekend to sign any contracts, because we're in Mercury retrograde. That there's been studies that show, statistical studies that show that's there was a study done in the late 80s during the there was a big real estate bull market in California then, and they did some studies on the Mercury retrograde, and something like 80% of all the deals that went to closing during Mercury retrograde busted. They fell apart. It had to be so that's didn't make it to the final closing.
Yeah. Okay, we got 30 seconds to the.
All right, so people, you were talking about several markets before I came on. All these markets you mentioned tend to be lunar sensitive, so you want to pay attention to the new moons and full moons, and this could be a supercharged full moon because it's it's on top of Mercury turning direct over the weekend. So I would advise keep your powder dry here for a day or so, possibly into the weekend. Now we do have something during the day today that might affect your gold, Larry. And that's
hold on. We got to take a break. We're going to cover that when you get back. That's very important. Thanks a lot.
Yep.
If you're looking to discover a new financial resource and diversify your financial portfolio, don't miss out on the Market Safe Commodity Solution CD from Everbank. This is the second running of their popular 5-year U.S. dollar-denominated CD, which gives you exposure to 8 equally weighted commodities, including WTI crude oil, gold, silver, copper, nickel, soybeans, corn, and sugar. With annual pricing caps of 70% per component, you can earn up to 70% upside payment at maturity if the commodities increase in value across annual pricing dates. And should the opposite occur, your principal is 100% protected. Keep in mind, returns are based on CD performance. There's no annual percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on this indexed CD. Don't miss out. Take advantage of this financial resource designed to grow with the times. The May 19th funding deadline is quickly approaching. So hurry over to everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. Once again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a member FDIC.
It's 2016 and TFNN has a brand new programming lineup to kick things off. Starting January 4th, swim lessons by Thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade will be airing 5 days a week at noon Eastern Time. Join hosts Scott Connor, Kevin Hinks, and Cindy Faber as they host their daily options program live at noon 5 days a week with no commercials for the entire hour. Nico DeHaan and Paige Clark will be moving their program, Living a Primal Lifestyle, to twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 a.m. until 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Wake up with Nico and Paige and start your day off right. The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour by Nadex will now be live Mondays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Start and end the week with the three hosts, Tom O'Brien, Tommy O'Brien, and Daryl Martin, as they break down the world of trading binary options and spreads. For all the details on the new 2016 programming lineup, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Catch the Money Masters as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back, folks. We have Norm Winsky from Astro Trend on the line, and Norm was going to talk to us about a key aspect in gold today.
Yes, sir, Larry. So this also pertains to the grains. It's mercury hitting aphelion. That's the closest. No, afar. It begins with an A. It's afar. Aphelion is as mercury goes around the sun, its farthest point on its 88-day orbit around the sun. Mm-hmm. So that's happening at midday today, I think 12:30 Eastern time. So that you might get a little wiggle there from the gold and the grains. But bigger picture, I'd like to see these markets all come down into the weekend, into the full moon and Mercury direct. I think that's going to be a more powerful combination.
Does that happen on Friday, or does it happen after the close?
Which thing?
The Mercury and the full moon.
Oh, the Mercury and the full moon, both occurring on the weekend. When you see AC in my work, like I'm pointing here on the screen, 5:20 AC, that's after the close.
Oh, AC means after the close.
Yes, sir.
Okay, didn't realize that.
Okay.
All right, that sounds good.
Now, a lot of these markets you were mentioning before are lunar sensitive. I remember you mentioned the yen is known to be lunar sensitive. All these metals, grains all tend to be lunar sensitive. So I'm looking for a turn into the weekend. So if we get any extreme moves into the weekend, that would be a great setup for a possible reversal over the weekend. Yeah, possibly into Monday's opening. So that's it's all pretty simple. And let's go look at the S&P chart real quick. Back on page 3. Okay. Also in agreement with what you said. If you look at my S&P chart here, I just put simple channels on here. And if you go down to possibly the bottom of the channel, comes out to about 2020 on the S&P, right? Isn't that what you said?
Wow, that's pretty good. 2020 is what I'm looking for, too. Longer term, what do you think in the stocks, Norm?
I just take it one step at a time. Let's see what happens this weekend,
Hey, you're getting big money for being on this show, man. I got to put you on the spot. Let's go out. Let's go out to say, we got sell in May and go away, probably working for at least a few more days. But what do you think when we come into maybe the fall period? Is there anything astrological that looks, or have you even gone out there? I guess you just told me you don't go out that far. So
I just go 1 month at a time. I do have longer term forecasting models. I do that on my fractal model, where I have the longer term models. But I like to just go one step at a time. Because I think that can be detrimental to your trading when you get married to some long-term scenario. I think it handicaps your you're trading.
Oh, you tell me about that, brother. People ask me all the time what I look at, and I try to focus on, 4-hour charts and hourly charts because that I can control my, risk, better than anything else, and that's, the only thing I can control. So who knows? I have
Yep.
one other question for you. One of our listeners has asked us about coming eclipses. Do we have anything this summer in July or August on eclipses that might?
I think we're past the eclipse season. Those are twice a year. I think we had that back, what was in March or April, and so that'll be probably this fall, maybe more like September.
Okay, that makes good sense. One other question that someone's asked is about the U.S. dollar. Anything astrological that you see happening in the U.S. dollar? You mentioned the yen, and the yen is probably 13% of the dollar, but how about the euro versus U.S. dollar? Anything specific that might be interesting?
Let's see, yen. I have to look it up because I wasn't prepared for that. Japanese yen. I see today is but it's pretty yen on my calendar here. Looks kind of quiet for the rest of the month. We did have a little change of trend due back on the 17th, and so nothing there. U.S. dollar, that's usually pretty busy. I got something coming up over the weekend. We have something for the 20th and the 23rd for a change of trend for the dollar.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, let's do something different. Let's give the folks a chance to take a look at what you offer, because I know you charge an exorbitant fee for your free course, but it does come with a money-back guarantee, correct?
It's an exorbitant fee for that free course. That's right. And when they mention your name, Larry, that they know you, then they get the double your money back guarantee on the free course.
Shut the front door and raise the rent. How could you not go with something like that? Correct.
Yes,
anyway,
sir.
folks, we get on here, we talk a lot. Sometimes we tease a little bit, maybe more than we should, but Norm offers some really great stuff, and mainly what he does is he builds a camaraderie of people that stick with him for a long time. But you do offer a fabulous course to get people interested in it. And believe me, years ago, Norm, this course probably would have sold for a couple $1,000s easy. I mean, because that was the going rate for stuff like this, many, many years ago. So why don't you tell the folks, what's in the course and how it works and stuff?
Okay, well, just for the new people, I'll tell you real quick who I am. I've been doing this for over 40 years. Matter of fact, today, May 19th, 41 years ago today, was my first day on the Chicago Board of Options Exchange as a market maker. So
shut the front door and raise the rent. That is, so we have a party.
There you go. So I'm a former Chicago floor trader. I trade on the CBOE and the Chicago Board of Trade. So I have a little bit of experience. And I got a free class, as you mentioned, Larry, usually lasts about 4 hours. It's 1-to-1 individual class on Skype. I do. And I'm going to teach you some Astro and some advanced Fibonacci and some fractals and all kinds of different things. We cover lots of different topics. And I just had one of your people go through this last night, and he was telling me how he listened to the show on May the 5th, and he made some money on that May 6th bottom there, so he was a happy camper.
Yeah, that's good.
So if the folks contact me and pay attention now, here's my email. If you go on my webpage there, I just have a simple webpage with my contact. I had some problems with my other email, and so that's not working right now, so you need to pay attention. This is the correct email. Is Nwinsky, Nwinski, at embark, EMBARQMAIL.com. Or you can contact me here in sunny Florida at 239-594-3939. Or you can call me on Skype at norm.winski. And if you do that, you can get a free letter and the free class to tell you how to read the letter and use it to possibly make some money. So,
now, one other question I have for you. What was your badge name when you were on the CBOE there on Jackson Boulevard?
My badge was NOW.
And now?
Yes, sir.
Wow, but if you turn that around, you have one.
That's true.
Hey, there you go. You got a good winner there. Anyway,
I had a little thing going on there. Down there on the floor was psychological warfare.
Uh-huh.
And so I stumbled on. I got the you might remember the heard of the O'Connor brothers, Larry. They
Oh my God, RJ. Oh, you betcha. Absolutely. Yeah.
and Eddie, was the founder of the CBOE. And so they founded the largest clearing firm there with First Options of Chicago. Well, it's a long story, so we'll have to maybe tell that someday about how I landed there. And then I met Eddie O'Connor. I went there to do a research paper for my finance class in college, and they said,
Uh-huh.
how do you become a member here? Oh, you should go talk to the chairman of the membership committee. That was Eddie O'Connor. So I met him,
Wow.
and so he said, son, you got any money? I said, well, I got a small inheritance. He said, you should put your name on this list to buy a membership, and they were going to sell it for $25,000,
Wow.
So
Hey,
like-
stay with us. We want to do more of this when you come back, Norm. Okay,
Okay.
hold on just a minute. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to the Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hey, Norm Winsky, Astro
Yes, sir.
Trend. We were talking about you're buying a seat for 25 grand. What are those things worth now, Norm?
Well, they demutualized, about what was
Yeah.
it, sub 5, 6, 7 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and so they broke apart. And they sold that value to the public, and so if you owned one of those seats, I think it was worth about $3 million.
Yeah, I know. I knew a guy, Scott Slutsky, a buddy of mine, had 3 of them. and he was going through a divorce, and he got the 3 seats as part of the divorce when they were worth about $250, and he said it was the best investment he'd ever made.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's
just
for
to
sure.
finish, get to the punchline here on my story. So I met Eddie O'Connor. I bought the seat, became a member, and landed there on May the 19th, 1975. And so I kind of stumbled into doing this, but my badge was NOW. And so when you did a trade, you would yell out your badge and then your clearing firm. You know, it was like the people that sorted out all the trades at the end of the day and held your money. And so First Options was the largest clearing firm on the floor. And so everybody knew who they were, so you didn't have to say the whole name. You could just call them first. And so I would, it was important to be first in the crowd there, so you got first dibs on the trade. And so I would yell out, "I'm now first" all day long, and they'd have to hear that. It was a little bit of kind of a subliminal programming for my competitors there. They'll listen to me tell them I was now first all day long.
Well, that's
It's
good.
like psychological warfare.
Well, that's what it was down there all the time, was psychological warfare. They still do live trading down there on the CBOE, don't they? Much like they used to do before.
I don't know about much. I think there are some people down there, but I think it's a lot fewer.
Oh, sure, because of electronic stuff. I mean,
And there's almost nobody on most of the futures floors. I think they have the options are still the computers aren't quite up to snuff on because options strategies are so sophisticated. I don't think the computers are quite up to snuff to doing the options yet. But
is that a kind way of saying they make money off the spread?
yeah, something like that. Anyway, so because options can be, you can have multiple legs.
We gotta
on
wind
options.
it up, buddy. Listen,
Okay.
I'll be talking to you when I get back, and I want you to take care and be safe. Okay?
You bet. Maybe we'll do something in June, right?
You got it, buddy. Norm Winsky from Astro Trend. Bye-bye, folks.
Bye-bye.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.